Tracks what matters. 11:16 on the clock. As of right now, today we are talking about the Malaysian Code of Ethics for journalists. With us is our guest, one of my favorite person to talk to. It is Dato Sivabalan, and he's the Director of Media and Communications Division, Department of Information, Japan. Now he is fresh coming off another interview with TV as well. So I guess it is a continuation of the topic today, the Malaysian Code of Ethics for journalists. Welcome to the studio, Dato, and it's always a pleasure to have you back.
Thank you, KG. It's also my pleasure to meet you again. And this is my 5th or 6th time coming to this studio, TRAXXfm, as usual.
Yeah.
As always, is the best.
Thank you so much for that shout out.
You're most welcome.
Super early on. And of course, today we are talking about something quite important, something that you said it is very critical as of this current time, which is the Malaysian Code of Ethics for journalists. Now, the Department of Information, Malaysia, Japan, has launched a Malaysian Code of Ethics for journalists on the 20th of February this year, officiated by the Minister of Communication. It was revised to establish guidelines for the issuance of media accreditation cards, which was introduced by Japan in effort to enhance Japan's role in media management. Now, before we discuss about the Malaysian Code of Ethics for journalists, can we talk about the media accreditation card and what is it all about?
Thank you, KG. Thank you for having me here today. It's a very important subject, KG.
Mm-hmm.
You are a journalist.
Yeah.
I was a journalist. I'm still a journalist.
Yes.
I started off my career as a journalist in Bernama way back in 1991. Why I'm saying this is because it was in the mid-90s when Jabatan Penerangan or the Information Department first introduced the media accreditation card, or what we call as Kad Perakuan Media. Now, this media accreditation card is actually meant for journalists, bona fide journalists who wish to cover events, official events, official government events. Now, I must emphasize here, KG, as what our Minister YB Fahmi has mentioned all this while, it is not a license per se. You don't issue this media accreditation card to allow them to practice as journalists. No, it's not that. It's not that case. It's not the case of we giving out this media accreditation card and then telling them, okay, you are now certified
or a legitimate.
Exactly. So no. Well, we have this media accreditation card is basically to make sure that whoever attends, whichever journalist is attending an official event, because we have many official events. We have at the Istana, at the Palace, at Parliament, we have at government entities, government facilities and all that.
Yeah, and these are usually restricted access locations.
Exactly. Yeah. But still, you may have, I think you also will have.
I do have one.
You have a green card. We call it as a green card.
Yeah.
We got green, red, blue and grey. So let me just briefly elaborate. Green is for government media employees like UKG. We have blue for the local medias. For international medias is red, and for grey is online medias. So so far we have almost 11,000. We have issued 11,000 since the mid-90s. We have issued about 11,000 media accreditation cards. So basically, it's not to suppress them. It's not to monitor them. Allow me to say this, KG. The government doesn't play a role of big daddy here. No, not at all. Media accreditation card or Kad Perakuan Media and the newly launched Code of Ethics for Malaysian journalists, both are equally important. They go hand in hand. So, media accreditation card is based on a standard operating procedure. In that standard operating procedure, you have this Code of Ethics. Yes. Now, let me just branch out and come to the Code of Ethics, KG. Well, this Code of Ethics that we have now, that was launched on the 20th of February, because we are talking about a media accreditation card, we cannot leave out the Code of Ethics. Code of Ethics, previously, before 20th February, when we issue or when we withdraw, we can also withdraw. Why? Because there are certain rules that you must follow. So when we issue or withdraw this media accreditation card to you or to anyone, then we have to fall back on the standard operating procedure, and among them is the Code of Ethics. Previously, we were following the Code of Ethics created by MPI, Malaysian Press Institute. That was in 1989, KG.
Wow.
1989 till now,
Yeah.
there was no improvement on that.
Or revision.
No revision.
Yeah.
What we did, we decided, and to be fair to our Honourable Minister, yes, it was the brainchild of Jabatan Penerangan. We discussed with our minister, and our minister agreed, yes, go ahead, but don't infringe on the freedom of the media. Yes,
Yeah.
I'll be the first person, KG, to stand up and say that if the code of ethics is going against the freedom of the media, freedom of speech, I'll be the first one to
voice out against it.
Exactly. Because it's our initiative, KG, is the code of ethics. So basically, the media accreditation card, we refer to the code of ethics. It's not something new.
Yes.
The MPI's one is was first released in 1989. Now we have improved it. So we are just basically improve a document and falling back on that. That's all.
All right. So, of course, 35 years, and now there's a new revision of the ethics, the code of ethics for journalists. Now, of course, just back to the Kad Perakuan Media, otherwise also known as the Media Accreditation Card. When was it exactly introduced, and what is the meaning of it for the journalists in Malaysia right now?
Good question, KG. When was it introduced? I remember vividly because in 1991 I joined as a rookie cadet reporter with Bernama. Come 1995 or 1996, we were issued with this card. So it crossed my mind, why are we being issued with this card? At that time, I didn't realize. Similarly, the same thing when we came out with this code of ethics, everybody's saying, why is the government getting involved in this? Okay, so in 1995, Jabatan Penerangan issued the first media accreditation card. And the idea at that time, till now, till today, the idea was to have a data bank of all the journalists that is practicing in Malaysia, and not to monitor them. Again, I use the word, in Malay word is called kawal selia. Never, not to kawal selia the media. As you know, KG, recently we have this program penghargaan, appreciation program for the journalists. Where do we fall back? We have the data bank there of all those journalists we are given the media accreditation card. Telcos, now Maidin, soon we'll be having so many, probably Air Asia, and then other outlets that may give discount to the journalists.
To the holders of the
Exactly.
cards.
So this is a reason why it is not to suppress them from doing their job. Again, I use the words of our minister. It's not a license to issue to you to certify you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like, for instance, I carry my media card on me at all times. It's always close to me. That is in the event if there is like for something that is very, very serious, something that is full of protocol, and we need access to the event, then the media card helps us out over there, especially with the green media card. So I've used it multiple times, and of course, when we are doing outside events, our pass goes to the back, our security pass goes to the back, and our media pass comes to the front, as always. And of course, the media accreditation card always has its own validity period. Now, what does that mean? Can you share about the validity period for each media category that you mentioned just now, which is the colors, right? The green, the red, and the green, grey, and all of that.
Yes, KG. Just recently, about 2 or 3 days ago, Jabatan Penerangan revised the media, the what do you call tempo?
The validity period.
The validity, sorry.
All right.
The validity period of each card. We've got for international media, we've got for local media, online media, and also we've got those who are on contracts and piecemeal basis and all that.
Yeah.
So for people like you and me and all those journalists with the government official media, with the local media, and also for the online media, it's across the board. It's 2 years validity period.
2 years, yes.
So it's 2 years from now on for any of these journalists associated with these media. Now, for international media, the minister has brought in something new. A long time, the Foreign Correspondents Club has been saying that why not give 2 years also for those locals working for foreign media agencies. Fine, the minister agreed. So previously there was 1 year for the locals working for foreign media agencies. Now we're giving them 2 years.
Oh, there's an extension.
Exactly,
All
extension
right.
of another 1 year. So that's a good news for them. But for those foreigners who are coming here to do, to work with their media agencies on that, it's still at 1 year because we collaborate with the foreign ministry. Now for media online,
Yeah.
though we are giving them 2 years, but those who just applied to register with the Department of Information, it could be an already established online portal or something like that, or a new one. Whatever it is, when they register now, we will only give them 6 months. Why? 6 months. That means the validity period is only for 6 months.
So this is for the initial application, very first time application.
This is for those online that are first time registering with Jabatan Penerangan.
Yeah.
After 6 months, during that 6 months, we will see. Not KG, you must understand. Not that 6 months we'll see. Are you supporting the government? Are you writing good about the government? No. We have our SOP, which is 60% of your content must be own news.
Oh.
Right? The portal must have its own news, not take from somewhere and then make it like
copy paste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you mustn't just be on politics. It must be politics, economics, social, sports, and all that.
It needs to be a proper online news portal.
That's right.
And has to apply to every single news that can be covered.
Yes.
Okay.
One more thing, KG.
Yeah.
We have had experience. Anyone can set up an online portal now.
Yeah, it's easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why you set up? Because I want the media accreditation card. After 2 months,
Nothing.
they become defunct. They are not active.
Yeah.
But they never tell us. But we see them going around using the media cards.
Yeah.
So for the next 6 months, what we'll do, we'll monitor their website, whether it's active and whether it fulfills all these
criteria.
So after 6 months, you are given 2 years. So it's 2 years and 6 months for new online media registration. The rest is 2 years, but 1 year only for the foreigners who come and work with their outlet like Reuters.
Which means they come in on an ad hoc basis.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they can always apply in advance. This is always done in advance.
KG, yes.
Okay, Dato, what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a very short break.
Great.
Once we come back, there is more to talk about. And of course, we are talking about the Malaysian Code of Ethics for journalists. Now, this is something that's very close to my heart as well because I'm learning today a lot of new things. And of course, after this, I need to check my validity. When is it ending as well? Right now, some music for you guys, and we will be back soon. followers, especially for those of us who are in media, because we are talking about the Malaysian Code of Ethics for Journalists, which underwent a revision after 35 years of its initial writing. And of course, with us is one of our favorite guests, Dato Sivabalan, who is the Director of Media and Communications Division with Japan. And Dato, before we went on break, you said the validity of period of 6 months given to the new online media is relatively short compared to other media. Now you have already justified it, and you have also already told us about the extension that they get after being able to stick to the SOPs. Are there any other criteria other than what you've mentioned earlier that they need to stick to be able to extend their back to 2 years?
Yes, KG. Actually, no. What I'm trying to say is, whatever I've mentioned so far are the main criteria, the main SOP for them to follow. And once they have done that, at the end of the 6 months, they have to reapply. Once they reapply, we'll go through what we have monitored on them. I hate to use the word monitor, It sounds like, Big Daddy looking down upon you. No. Once we know that they have adhered to all the SOPs, 60% of their own news, and then they must be active for a few months and all that, then we'll give them the 2 years.
Okay, so this can apply to individuals as well as the company itself.
Well, basically, this is how it works, KG. First, the company submits to register with Jabatan Penerangan along with the list of their employees, of their reporters. So the card is given based on the employee. Okay, for instance,
it's individual.
You have worked with RTM before and you decide to seek greener pressures elsewhere. So you join ABC portal. Okay, now you say, I've been given a card when I was with RTM. So do I get 2 years? I will tell you, no, KG, because though you are from RTM and now you have joined ABC, but ABC just newly registered with Jabatan Penerangan. So we'll give you 6 months. But of course, if your validity period is still there, once you have branched out, we'll let it expire. Then when you come and apply, within that 6 months, we'll give you 6 months. So, but not to worry. 6 months after that, if everything is in order, it's 2 years. And KG, again, I must mention here, we are not saying that do you need a media accreditation card? If you ask me, yes. Why? Because when we have some promotions and all that, we have your, just like Padu, But don't have this impression that this media card, again, I must emphasize here, Malaysia is not the only country having a media card. I think some of our neighboring countries, even Brunei, Malta, and all these countries are having. Some are having for foreigners coming in to work. All right. So basically, it's not to curtail you or journalists from doing your job. There was a question posed to me, which I couldn't answer, KG. I have to say it here.
Okay.
Your code of ethics says harmonize reporting and all that. What if, let's say, this might sound a bit sensitive. There was an instance where during Ramadan month, school students were asked to go and eat in the toilet. Probably you could remember that.
Yes, that was a couple of
years
ago.
So are we not allowed to report all this? So to those who are asking this question, we're telling them, this is part and parcel of what you do, as long as you don't breach the national, the laws of the land. Yeah.
All right. So of course, Dato. And now let's talk about the code of ethics itself. Now, the main reason and the main objective of Japan for launching the code of ethics and undergoing the revision itself. What is the reasoning behind it, Dato?
Okay. Again, I must emphasize here, code of ethics was based on the MPI 1989. So we just made a revision. We fall back on MPI's code of ethics before. We feel that there are some words there, the communism and all that. It doesn't apply now, and MPI has not revised it. So we asked MPI. We are not doing it on our own. We did ask MPI during our engagement with them. Can we modify? Can we improve? They say yes. Go ahead, do it. That is why you have the MPI's logo emblem in the front cover of the
It's also
booklet.
Certified by them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to okay. Now the question is, KG. Again, I must say this. There are some quarters who are saying we are going to have our own code of conduct. Why don't you follow ours? Fine. Now we have code of ethics that we launched on the 20th of February.
Mm-hmm.
So if the minister is agreeable, okay, we have a code of ethics here, then like for instance the soon to be launched Malaysian Media Council, they might have their code of conducts. We'll look at each other, we look everything. We are not saying, we are not closing our eyes, we are not saying okay, we are too rigid, we'll follow this. No. We would welcome all kind of suggestions. This is nothing cast in stone. So what we have decided now, KG, if you allow me, we will go on a road show, meaning Jabatan Penerangan will go to National Union of Journalists, Malaysian Media Council, Persatuan Wartawan Malaysia, Persatuan Wartawan Melayu, Geram also, there's this organization called Geram. We'll go to them. We'll see, let us come to you, let us talk, let us thrash out whatever differences that we have.
Now, this code of ethics is constantly evolving.
Yes.
And also, I understand the importance of the code of ethics, but we'll talk about that in a while. Could you maybe tell us how many main points that are listed in the Malaysian Code of Ethics for journalists, and what are they? Maybe you can just go on a brief overview, and who would it apply to? Like, we understand it's journalists, and also for those who have already had the card. Right, so maybe you could tell us more about the main points of it.
Yes, KG. We have what you call 8 main principles governing this code of ethics. And before I go on, what are the 8? I just like to clarify this, because these are all feedbacks that we got based on newspaper cuttings, newspaper articles and all that. Nothing from Jabatan Penerangan side. So today we get an opportunity to say our side of the story. There's nothing in the code of ethics to say journalists are refrained from criticizing the government. No, there's no such thing there. Journalists are refrained from going into this facility. No. If you do this, that means it's curtailing the freedom of the press. So back to the 8 principles, the main principle is that they have to be transparent, with high integrity, and then they have to safeguard their source, and then they have to respect privacy of people. This is one important issue. And then there's also one of the 8 says that journalists have to be trained and retrained.
Yep, especially with the growth of information in this current era.
Whatever the 8 principles that mentioned in the Code of Ethics is already there in the 1989 documents. We have just enhanced it. We have just brought it to the attention of everyone. Look here, there has been this MPI document, and now we have improved it a bit. And I must say again that it was done with full knowledge of those in the industry as well. Of course, the industry might say, we didn't actually support your document. Fine, the document belongs to Jabatan Penerangan. It's meant for internal use. But we approach you guys in the industry to come and give your feedback. All right? So now you have given your feedback. One feedback which they gave, it was supposed to be called in Malay, Code Etika Kewartawanan Malaysia. Kewartawanan means journalism. They, those in the industry requested us, can you change that and put it as Code Etika Wartawan. That means only individual. We don't go and disturb the industry. We agreed. So we followed that. So these are among the feedback that we get from them. And some we have incorporated, some we are open for. Because like you said, it's something that's evolving.
Yeah.
Another 6 months' time or 1 year,
there might be another branch.
We'll revisit the Code of Ethics.
Yes.
Yes, KG.
For me, personally, Dato, I find that a Code of Ethics is extremely important because media and media personnel should always be held to higher standards. And they need to be able to respect that because, one, they have the capability of changing the minds of the nation. Second, they are indebted to the nation to be able to bring forward the truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
So this Code of Ethics is very, very important. And of course, a big thank you to Japan for being able to do it.
Thank you.
To revise such an important document. Of course, this comprehensive code was crafted and reviewed by relevant parties from the journalism industry. Could you share about the specific parties involved in the process?
Okay. All right. We had a first draft. The first draft was written by lecturers who are in the communication field from USM, University of Science Malaysia. That was the first draft. Now, the first draft was based on the 1989 document. Okay? It's not something newly crafted, something that was given birth by USM. Then came the second draft, checked by University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Then we have the Dewan Bahasa dan Pustaka. They checked for all the languages and everything. Okay, fine. We had two sessions, different sessions. First sessions we had with government media, RTM, Jabatan Penyiaran, Bernama, Finas, even the Prime Minister's office, the Prime Minister's Director of Media was also involved in the meetings. So this is where we gathered feedback. All right. Then we decided to call those in the industry, those like Program Committee of Malaysian Media Council, NUJ, National Union of Journalists Malaysia President herself came, and then from MPI, the CEO of MPI also attended the meeting. This is where we gathered, for the second engagement with them, we gathered some information from them. So this is a process by process. All right, it's not something that out of nowhere, out of the blue, just took the document from MPI and then rehashed, made something, and then cooked it up and then gave it to the journalists. No, but I was amazed at the attendance on that day, on the 20th of February. Full capacity, full crowd. We almost like 450 people in the crowd. So this shows that the reporters want to know what is it. Or this is something that is for us.
Yeah.
All right, something that has finally something got to do for us.
Because they're usually reporting about something else. Nobody reports about them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is quite cool. And
Yes, KG.
of course, now there's also the rise of citizen journalism. Now just skewing away from the questions for a bit. The rise of citizen journalism. Would this code of ethics can it apply to them as well?
Well, this was raised by the ministry officials as well. Like I mentioned earlier, this is something. This document is something that is not going to be forced upon them, forced upon anyone.
Yes.
All right. But one thing that will be put on them is the media accreditation card. So if you are a citizen journalist, you are not associated with any entities. Our standard operating procedure says you are not entitled for a media accreditation card, because media accreditation card is given to bona fide. That means you are working for one company. The company must give a letter. So you are here working alone. So we don't have that yet. But as for the code of ethics, if we will appreciate really that we all have one principal guidelines that we all follow. By the way, the code of ethics launched by Japan is no different from probably I'm not too sure about it, but it's the same as code of conduct with NUJ of other Persatuan. We have Persatuan Wartawan Malay Journalists Association, Women Journalists Association. Now I'm hearing that there's a program committee for Malaysian Journalists Association. Good. So if everyone, including citizen journalists, everyone is a journalist now.
True.
Just go to the media social. You can report anything you want.
Absolutely.
But there are different laws for that, and not under Jabatan Penerangan.
Yeah.
It could be under MCMC. It could be under KDN and all that. But that is not for me to say here. For me, it suffices for me to just stick to the code of ethics and to the media accreditation card, which I've already explained to you.
Yeah, and that's a topic to be visited in the future to see what can be done.
Exactly.
And especially with the code of ethics, as you said,
Yes.
always evolving.
Yes.
And I understand maybe down the road, citizen journalism would also take another bigger step, because right now almost everyone, as you said,
True.
is a journalist. Anyone with a phone can be a journalist.
And a camera. Yeah.
And a camera. Definitely needs a camera. And Dato, representing Japan today, what is your expectations on the media accreditation card and the Malaysian Code of Ethics for Journalists?
We want understanding from all those in the industry. What we are doing is for the benefit, for the good of the fraternity, the journalism fraternity. Okay, I'm a journalist. I've always been a journalist. I started off my career as a journalist, so I know the heartbeat of a journalist. I, for one, will not do anything that will stop them from doing what they are supposed to do, which is to report the truth. So if you are reporting the truth, if you are doing what needs to be done as a journalist, as a professional journalist, by all means, we are with you. So don't take this code of ethics as stifling your freedom, as saying that why should the government get involved? Why don't we have a self-regulation? Yes, by all means have your self-regulation. You will have your self-regulation because you're going to do it on your own. Whereas this code of ethics which we launched is a revisit of the 1989. We have been doing this. We did not tell this to anyone until the launch day. So now we have a code of ethics which we will fall back. We meaning not the government. Jabatan Pandangan in issuing the
Accreditation card.
media accreditation card. Okay, in future, when Malaysian Media Council come into existence, I'm hoping, I'm praying it will come into existence as soon as possible. Minister has mentioned that it will go to the Parliament in June. I pray it will go there. Let us sit down, let us talk. It's all about engagement. Let's talk, let's sit down and talk and not jump to conclusion. That's all, KG.
And that is journalism. What is it all about?
Exactly.
Don't jump to conclusion.
Yes.
Anything else that you would like to add, Dato, before we end for
I think
today?
I've said my piece.
Yes.
And I'm happy with all that, KG. And thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Of course. And anytime, Dato, anytime, any topic, we will be ready for you.
Thank you.
Just let us know, let Rose know. And of course, a big thank you to you, Dato. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. And I think even for me, you actually reminded me I need to renew my card.
Yes.
So that's something that I need to do. And with that, thank you so much. And we hope to see you again.
Thank you.
All right, so we spoke to Dato Sivabalan, the Director of Media and Communications Division, Department of Information, Malaysia, Japan. We spoke about the Malaysian Code of Ethics for Journalists. And with that, it's about time for more music to come your way. I will be back in the next hour. Don't go anywhere.